Brad.
Over here.
You got something I need to steal.
That's a way to put it.
Permanently borrow. I see I'm on camera. Great, now I got evidence against me.
You know, sometimes I just let it roll and whatever happens.
Happens?
If it doesn't, I just delete it.
Okay.
I've done hours of that with nothing.
You've got some water heater connectors that are rigid copper?
Yeah, to what?
To CPVC?
Yep. You help yourself. I think I have plenty for myself. I suppose you just need 2.
Yep, that's all I want. Then I'll go buy some more for myself to restock.
Yep. Yeah, this is nice. I'm debating already.
Good elbow. Is that a street? Is that a conversion city?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road. See, we're missing a nut on one side, so I'm going to take the water line off, put another nut on. The problem is I don't have one, so I'm kind of desperate, and I think I have a solution. I'll show you once I'm done if it's going to even work. Hey! Hey! Bye-bye. Got that loose. Just in case you were not aware, water coming out the top of this air valve means it's bad. So I'm going to replace it. Although technically this is supposed to be before the shutoff valve to the water heater. But that's for another day, if we're going to do anything at all. But for now, let's relieve the pressure. So why do we concern ourselves with these silly little expansion tanks, right? These have a rubber diaphragm inside them, which holds a pocket of air down in the bottom, or when you have it turned around on the top. Okay? When your water heater turns on, potentially it can build up a significant amount of pressure in the water lines from thermal expansion, as it's called. Now to all us plumbers out here, that's pretty obvious. Now is it a big deal? Generally no. If you don't have somewhere for that thermal expansion to go, it'll just come out the taps at your kitchen sink, take a shower. However, it's after that, after the taps have been shut off and the water heater plays catch up, there's nowhere for that pressure to go. Because in this case, we are at the city, using city water, and they have a dual check valve, which basically means It's a device that prevents any water in the house from backfeeding into the city supply. You're isolated from the city. It's a one-way check valve. The water can come in, but it's stopped from going back. And if the pressure builds up behind that check valve enough that some reason blows it apart and feeds back into the city, there is a potential, a very minute potential for contamination to occur at the city level, which means a lot of people's lives could potentially be at risk from waterborne whatever. So municipalities take every precaution they can to greatly reduce the risk of anything backfeeding into the city supply. That's what this expansion tank is for. Like I said, it's probably not a big deal in most cases, but you should think of it as a more serious matter than just a bad expansion tank. It is no big deal. That's it on this job. I realize I never showed you the other half of Line Brothers Construction. Brad. It's Brad. I'm Brad. We're Brad.
Brad.
Best name available. Alright, I guess I gotta do something. Maybe in the future, I might put a sink here, maybe. But I'm basically gonna just let it go until you know exactly what's going on. Instead of cutting it up and stubbing out a pipe and changing their minds or something. So if you didn't know, there were 3 sinks back in there. It was a salon.
Yeah.
And because I have completely eliminated the piping going up to the sinks that were there, there's nothing there now. It's open to sewer gases, so I have to cap all that up. The vent goes above this ceiling here. I'll reroute it, join it in, so there's no sewer gases coming out in here and smelling like rotting fecal matter. So what we have here is what I assume a vent stack. It's actually joining into a drain or two, and I believe that goes up to the roof. I may be wrong. Maybe in the future we'll have to investigate. But here's something I noticed. You can see, okay, it looks like a hole. I'm pretty sure that's a hole in the vent stack. Yeah, that's definitely going right through, and this is in pretty bad shape. Needs replaced. This is starting to crack here, and it's starting to get really bad right there. Just trying to put a plan together with this vent, as you can see, running over there, and there as it goes uphill, which isn't going to work long term. So putting a plan together, I decided I have plenty of room here. I might as well raise this whole vent line up plenty high so it has slope going all the way back and it can drain out that way. Look at that, it's tight up against the wall. I can't use my PVC shears. Ah, boy. This should be interesting. No, I didn't go all the way through yet. That is professional. I'm joking, it's totally not. I took advantage of the situation and cut this down lower so I was assured of plenty of slope from where it joined into the vent stack to this point. Glue that in and then start supporting the pipe along the length of it all the way over, and we'll be set up here. I just can't win. In the process of putting this fitting on, it cracked down here. Great, I gotta get a new one on. So what you saw me do there is turn the drill in reverse after I had the screw all the way through the 2x4 block. Put it in reverse, put a lot of weight on it so it actually drill out the hole instead of using a pilot bit. I really need to get one, I know, but that worked out pretty good when I just have a few to do and I don't want to swap bits. Conrad, I know you're sophisticated like that and have a bit that works, that countersink bit. I know, I need to get myself one too. That was pretty slick. There we have it. Simple, sturdy, effective. Got the slope right so that anything that comes down that vent line from condensation or rainwater, or I don't know, maybe this is a drain line. It's got to be a drain line because it's got a trap right there. And yeah, maybe that can, which is totally backwards, I know, but this was the priority to cap off where this is going to the sewer. We don't need gas back, sewer gas coming back at us, and I have to stop somewhere. All this needs redone, but not at this point in time. Well, I basically caught up to what I'm required to do here. Just waiting on the inspector for the rough-in stage. Plumbing inspector for the rough-in stage. Just kind of hanging out, making sure my pressure test is good, which it is. It's been holding since this morning. Very good. Who is it? That might be an inspector right there. Inspector come and gone, everything is good. I just got to put some caps on our open drains so we don't have sewer gas come back at us. I'll probably pull the plug out of there, put some water down. It's hooked up to the main, so any water going down is just gonna go out to the city and not back up in, you know, in the basement or something. So plug, fill with water, plug, fill with water. It's got a trap. That's got a plug already, so we're good. Okay, let's get started. Now because this has a trap down underneath the floor, I can just fill it up with water and that'll prevent the sewer gases from coming back in. So when we have this up and running, I'm gonna take this grate off completely and throw it away. Right now I just wanna keep junk out of there, but when we get the prep sink up and running, I don't want that in the way and having water splash out here when it's draining on this, so it'll go straight in here and have an air gap about 3 inches. Okay, all the nitty-gritty details taken care of, such as, like I said, plugging off all the exposed drains because sewer gases could come out there. That's capped. Got some other caps, traps filled with water that need to be vent through the roof. That other vent above this low ceiling in here, plugged up and redone, of course, and all that. Stud guards are on, so there's no chance, very little chance, I should say, of, you know, drywall screws going through there and penetrating this drain line or this water line from the other side. And that's it for this job for now. They can do the drywall. We'll come back if we are going to be doing the finish work, like setting the faucets and the sinks and all that jazz. Otherwise, so we might be back then or we might not be. Anyways, I gotta go to my next job, see what's going on there. Something about a leaking water line. Fun, fun. And here we are, ladies and gents. A little drip of water about ready to come out at me. Run it down from this T here. Yeah, calcification buildup. So it's definitely coming from there. And another one here at that point. And we got another expansion tank gone bad. Got my first up in there with the M12 copper tubing cutter. Let some air in so it can drain out a little bit more. Don't have a mess on our hands, especially above this breaker box. That looks absolutely marvelous. But I think I have an answer for that. It's because this was completely shut off So I've no doubt it built up in this line for who knows how long, and who knows what it fed. And so I probably just settled in there, and now that I opened it up, it came and washed back out. Now then, about these leaks. Cavitation, you ever heard of it? So what happens is if the plumbers put this pipe in without first reaming the inside of the pipe, chamfering it or smoothing over the sharp edge left over from your rollers of your pipe cutter, tubing cutter, it will cause turbulence. It'll create turbulence in the water flow and really beat on the inside of the copper lines, and this is what happens, especially when we're dealing with a hot water recirc loop. And this is what it's on, the hot water line, which is running pretty much constantly, the pump. So if I stick my finger up in here, I feel a very sharp edge, just like down in here, because that's just where I cut. So, okay, here we are. Sharp edge, bad. Smooth edge, good. And you're focused in correctly. Of course, there are two ways of doing that. With the pen that I was just showing you, or a device like this. And if you got some sharp edges on the outside of your pipe, take it to the outside of the pipe. Simple as that. Just on older pipe that has some buildup of tarnish or stuff like this, definitely clean it off. This one was a little rough. That's better. Great. As soon as I turned this valve onto the water heater, I didn't hear water going through it like it normally would. So I knew something was plugged. I'm going to take this out here. These dielectrics are always trouble. I'm going to take this out here and get rid of it. Oh, you can already see that's really plugged up with junk. They all do that. They all do that. So of course that wouldn't come loose. And I can only fit a 12-inch wrench in here. Maybe a 14. Regardless, I tried to tighten it actually, and I have more power. I can apply more force pulling it toward me than pushing it away. So I tried that. It got loose. Now I'm attempting to loosen it. And it actually worked. Getting somewhere at least. So they've been having trouble with that sump pump. And they took the smart choice and decided they're going to replace it. We'll show you what we got putting in today. This is Pro Series pumps. Get your threaded male adapter, get your glue, in this case, cleaner and glue in one, get your 1/8 inch drill bit, and a drill, of course. Now we're going to drill our air bleed hole. An air bleed hole prevents the pump from airlocking. What this does is prevent an airlock in the pump itself. If air gets in here, it will allow it to escape the hole I'm about to drill in. Now remember, you have to drill it above the water line, at which point it kicks the pump on. So wherever I drill my hole, my float has to be below it. So it'll kick on before it gets to this hole. Also drill it at a very steep angle, so it's going to be spraying down instead of off into the sidewall of the sump pit and then up out into the floor. There's our air bleed hole, and this is the point at which the pump will kick on. The finished product on the wall, plugged in, power to, power out to the pump, signal from the float switches. It's got a couple different options you can add onto it if you want. It's got a little plug for an additional high water alarm. It's got USB plug so you can have it Wi-Fi to your house and then onto your phone wherever you are in the world. A couple different things too. This is actually run on time. So when the float trips in the pit, it runs for a certain amount of time, depending on how you set it, between 10 and 45 seconds. It'll also run once a week if it doesn't run in between that time. It has a 9-volt battery in there. If the power goes out, it'll alarm you of that. Got different things here. If the float is on for more than 10 minutes. It will alert you of that. So just as a quick demonstration, I will flip the switch, the float. And that's it. It ran for whatever that was, 15, 20 seconds. Shut off. We're in business. I've never seen one of these in person. In fact, I really don't even know what it is. What are you? Go on, you must be cold. I'm sure you're cold-blooded and this cool air does not help. You're gonna get drove right over. Go on. Alright, load up the rest of this stuff and take a dump run tomorrow. Or maybe Monday. Oh yeah, my ladder. I knew I was missing something. Well, thanks for following along so far. Been a long, eventful day. Yeah, I'm just happy the plumbing inspection passed. No problem. Got that sump pump taken care of, the water leaks taken care of, the nasty fitting on the top of the water heater taken care of. They have good water flow now. But I am actually going to go back and change that expansion tank when we have time. He's gone next week. I should have had one with me, honestly, but I used it this morning, as you saw. That's about it. I am going to eat my Panera. Yes, I said Panera. Don't judge me. I like it sometimes. Avocado. I got a Chipotle chicken avocado melt. Anyways, thanks for joining in today. It's been great knowing you. I'll catch you in the next one.